Hello everyone. Ziyakhala ke manje. Uyayiva ke ngoku? The former President Jacob Zuma is in loggerheads with Billy Downer, who is the prosecutor in his arms deal case. The old man wants also to take Gwede position, the national chairperson of the African National Congress. It's tricky, it's tough. They say he is the Lionel Messi of politics. Do you agree with that? The lead prosecutor in Jacob Zuma's corruption and fraud trial, Advocate Billy Downer, said the private prosecution brought against him is another attempt by the former president to avoid standing trial. In his founding affidavit, Downer stated, "The purpose of this application is to put a stop to the private prosecution because it is an obvious abuse of the process of this court driven by Mr. Zuma's ulterior purpose to discredit me as his prosecutor. It has all the hallmarks of another play in Mr. Zuma's Stalingrad tactic. I have since 2001 been National Prosecuting Authority's lead prosecutor in successive prosecutions. First off, Mr. Shabir Sheikh and others, and thereafter Mr. Zuma and another Mr. Sheikh was convicted of bribing Mr. Zuma. Mr. Zuma faces charges of corruption, fraud and money laundering. Mr. Zuma's prosecution has been dragging on and off for the better part of 20 years. The delay has in large part been due to Mr. Zuma's Stalingrad tactic. Mr. Zuma's purpose with his Stalingrad tactic is to avoid at all costs his day in court, that is to face the charges against him. The way in which he does so is to launch and prosecute endless challenges of various kinds. They have varied widely over the years but were all baseless and ultimately failed. They served Mr. Zuma's purposes, however, because he pursued them as far as he could to play for time. Whenever a challenge finally petered out, Mr. Zuma initiated a fresh challenge for another round of litigation to avoid having to stand trial. Billy also stated that Ubaba Umsholozi frequently attacked him in an attempt to discredit and disqualify him as the prosecutor in his case. He said he did so, for instance, in the spy tapes case, which culminated in the Supreme Court of Appeal judgment that cleared the way for Mr. Zuma's renewed prosecution in Zuma versus Democratic Alliance 2018. His application to the High Court for a permanent stay of his prosecution dismissed by a full bench of the High Court in S versus Zuma, October 11, 2019, and his plea. In terms of this criminal procedure, that I was unfit and this lacked title to prosecute him, which his Lordship Justice Pete Cowan dismissed in S versus Zuma, October 26, 2021. Since the dismissal of his special plea, Mr. Zuma repackaged two of his accusations, which Justice Cowan had dismissed as criminal charges against me. When the NPA refused to prosecute, he launched a private prosecution. Downer said the charges against him were quite unfounded on the facts that are common cause. They suffer many obvious and fatal flaws. Justice Cowan dismissed both complaints in his judgment on Mr. Zuma's special plea. Mr. Zuma again does not satisfy the requirements for standing in terms of Section 71A. He does not have a substantial and peculiar interest in the prosecution arising out of some injury which he individually suffered in consequence of the commission of the said offense. Quite to the contrary, Mr. Zuma's own attorney obtained the letter in order to make it public and did make it public before Ms. Morgan publicized it. He has known about my conversations with Mr. Soul since 2009. He has repeatedly complained about them in his failed bids to discredit me. Only now, after more than a decade, does he seek to prosecute me for the same complaint. It is obviously a last-ditch attempt to recycle some complaint, yet again in pursuit of his Stalingrad tactic. The facts on which he bases his private prosecution are common cause. The witness on his list cannot, in any event, contribute to them at all. His list is an abusive attempt at sensationalist publicity. There's a lot that is going on with the former president right at this moment. If the man is not Lionel Messi of South African politics, then I don't know. The man said he is available for election of the ANC national chairperson at the party's December conference. He said he had been approached by the ANC comrades who believe he has a contribution to make towards the so-called renewal of the party for the position of national chairperson. He stated that if the branches nominate him, he'll avail himself and return to the ANC top 6, which he has not served for the past 5 years. Mr. Gwede is shaking wherever he is right now. He even said this and supported him during the July unrest. He had to be given a parole because he was sick. Now he wants to go back and join the ANC top 6 position. He's no longer sick now, I guess. Share your views on this one. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.